Today, in the Jeremy Vine programme, Owen Jones was quite passionate about the fact that we have a range of high-ranking ministers, prime ministers indeed, Boris, Gove, others sitting around the cabinet table who have admitted to high-level drug use, category A class drug use. Keir Starmer hasn't admitted it, but he hasn't denied it, and yet we have this incredibly harsh attitude to illegal drugs. Now, I'm not a fan of illegal drugs at all. I have no interest, except that it seems to account for so much crime. If we were to decriminalise Class A drugs, we would probably remove a lot of the crime. We would remove a lot of the reason for people run around the place carrying zombie knives and so on. We would get rid of all that stuff, and I don't think we would have a blossoming of greater drug use than we've already got. We do have a drug problem in the UK. A serious drug problem in the UK. I think it's more serious in, for example, Russia, but I think it's particularly bad here, and it kills 8,000 to 9,000 people every year, and that's alcohol, and it's a perfectly legal substance that does serious damage. Does probably as much serious damage as the illicit substances, and we spend so much money treating dependent drug users, people who are dependent on illegal drugs, but we spend so much less to treat people who are dependent on alcohol. I think we for illegal drug users we spend about £1,500. For people who are addicted to alcohol, we spend under £200. There's a charity called Ad Action, and I think they recognise that alcohol is the main substance abuse problem that they deal with on a regular basis. The main substance abuse, and it's a thing. It's a thing that goes across the whole sweep of ages. It's a silent pandemic that needs to be addressed, and it accounts for, or it backs up, so much abuse in our lives: child abuse, domestic abuse, trauma, homelessness. Some of the driving force of all of that is alcohol, and if it isn't the driving force, it fuels the madness that lies behind it. And when we are so focused on mental health, we ought to be focused on sorting out our drug problem, and that is a mixture of the drugs that are legal and the drugs that are illegal, in exactly the same way that Braverman and people have tried to focus on migration, the migration that is legal, the migration that is illegal. I think a more practical, a more useful, a more money-saving focus of our time would be to deal with Britain's drug problem, and we should try to balance the cost of alcohol with the treatment for alcohol. Not only the treatment for alcohol run by charities, but also the treatment for alcohol within our National Health Service. Just 6% of people struggling with alcohol dependency get access to any form of treatment. This is in stark contrast to places like Italy, where there is some sort of treatment. Not enough. I think it's 23% in Italy. We need to get it up to 50% here. 50% of people who are struggling with alcohol dependency need to be given support. And unless we change, more people are going to die, and we're going to lose significantly more money. And I think that goes with the very, very, very earnest appeal this morning for a change in the definition of illegal drug use. And I think now we've got sites where people can safely perform drug use. We now need to manage this. We need to decriminalise, and we need to help. And we can lead the world, and we should do. We shouldn't be trailing behind, feeling miserable.